So let's roll some numbers. Let's say Trump. What did Trump have with African Americans last time?
Yeah, so here's African Americans, he had 8% of the vote of African Americans.
Let's bring that up to 15% of the vote.
Okay. I think that's reasonable.
Maybe.
Not,
yeah. I mean, that's not. Candace Owens says he's going to get 30. I don't know about that.
No, but if he goes 8% to 15% of the African American vote, he would then win the election. However, as you point out, still lose the popular vote by about 3 million.
Okay, let's go Hispanics up 4%. Think that's possible?
Including the, are we changing African Americans back to their...
No, leave that.
Okay.
Leave that.
Okay, so 4%. So yeah, do I think it's possible? Yes. I mean, he got 28 in 2016.
Yeah, give him 30.
So 30, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Give him 30.
White male or white voters that are or have no college education.
So it's broken up into white non-college graduates and white college graduates.
Okay, so
they vote very differently.
Yeah, go give white no college. What did he have?
He had 69% of the vote last time.
Give him 70.
Okay, we'll take him up to 70 here.
And the graduates, what is that one?
He won 46% of white college graduates.
Give him 42.
So he's going down?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2.
There's more college graduates that are a little older now.
Okay. And then anything else you want to change? Asian, other is the other category. We haven't moved at all.
No, I don't know.
Okay. So that would give a result of Joe Biden 308 electoral votes, Donald Trump 230.
Wow.
And
leave his numbers alone, Trump's numbers alone on white college educated.
Okay, so we'll move him back to 62 there.
Whatever he had,
46, excuse me.
Yeah, whatever he had last time, just the same number.
Okay, that would be Donald Trump 306, Joe Biden 232. That's how tight this is. These things move by 1% and 2%, and they move the entire election. Again, in that scenario, however, Donald Trump loses the popular vote again. Now, they've already been coming after the Electoral College for the past few years. They will, of course, ramp that up even higher if this happens. To get him, it's interesting to try to find a way. Let's say we give 15% of the African-American vote. That's up from 8. We go from 28 to 28 to 30% of the Hispanic vote. We'll keep all that the same. And we go from, let's say, 72% of white non-college graduates. Then we start getting into basically a tie in the popular vote. So is it possible for Donald Trump to go from 68 to 72% of white non-college graduates?
Yes.
Very possible. And now that has him losing no white college graduates, though. And that's the part where I think he's struggling the most. You know, you look at this again, it's suburban moms, it's that type of group that seems to be the issue here for Trump. Now, you can also play with the turnout. So even if he stays around, let's say 70%, a little bit less, but you start cranking that turnout up, instead of 50, I think the turnout for white non-college graduates was 55%. The turnout for white college graduates was 72%. So white college graduates turn out much higher numbers than whites that did not go to college.
And I think that number is going to go higher.
Turnout for white non-college graduates?
College graduates.
Higher than 72?
Yeah, and I think it could go higher. For non-college.
So let's say let's crank those up a couple of points each. How about black turnout? Up or down?
Up. What do you think?
I think up.
Yeah.
Hispanic turnout?
Maybe down or flat because it was the wall last time.
Yeah, right. Okay, that is so playing with that a little bit. We now have Donald Trump at 310 electoral votes, Joe Biden 228. However, once again, Biden still wins the popular vote. I mean,
as long as he has a couple of states ahead in the Electoral College, as long as he wins, 2 states or 3. If it's 1, we're screwed because they will just dismantle it. They'll find a way. But if he can lose at least 1 state to their meddling, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Then I think you're okay.
Look, if you win 310 electoral votes, there might be an argument to change the Electoral College that the left will make, right? We can expect that. There's not an argument that the election was fraudulent. Now, the Democrats, as I pointed out before, in every election of my adult life that they have lost, they have said it was a fraud and it was stolen. Every single one of them. So they will say that again in almost any circumstance, right? I mean, they're almost, no matter what happens, they're going to say it was stolen from them. But is it going to be credible with the American people? Now, like you could argue that for a good chunk of the American people, the Bush-Gore thing was credibly stolen. Now, it's not true. All the media recounts show the opposite. George W. Bush won the election fair and square. But
Gosh, remember the days when you could trust the media at least that much, where you could say after the recount, they were in the bag for Al Gore.
Yep.
But eventually they came out and said, no, we've done all the recounts. No matter how we recount it, George Bush wins.
Yeah, unless you came up with some fraudulent standard,
Correct.
some crazy standard that anytime it was a ridiculous thing they had to do to get to any other conclusion. The ones that were counted by the media that came back with the standards that were accepted were all in the favor of Bush. And look, Bush won the election, but there's probably 35-40% of America that sits back and says that was actually Al Gore's, right? Mm-hmm. For that to happen, I think you have to have, you're right, coming down to one state that's very close, maybe two states that are very close. I mean, if you look back at the Clinton election with Trump, they were in, if about 40,000 people changed their mind and switched their votes appropriately spaced over 4 states. The election swings to Clinton. So that was a very close election when it comes down to the number of votes that would have needed to be switched. I mean, that can give you maybe some confidence that it's very difficult to steal an election. That was a stealable election.
It was.
And
I think they learned that. I think if they could suppress, I think their goal is they learn from. Remember, they were meeting to figure out how to win this election or take this election or shut him down. On Inauguration Day. They all met on Inauguration Day and laid these things out. So they've been looking for ways to make sure that never happens again. And if it was stealable then, it will be stealable this time.